the book. His diary is really over the awesome friendly spooky story. And we're gonna have a timer like we did in the other book, but in the other book. So but you're not going 20 minutes. We're going to do 30 minutes. Okay, let's read. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this book because it's quite scary and quite fun. And in the end, it's scary, more scary than fun, but in the first place, it is not that scary. Okay. Ronald Jefferson, awesome friendly spooky story. Boo, did that scare you? If it did, maybe you should put this book down and pick something else that's a little less scary. There are some good books about unicorns and puppies and other happy stuff. Things that you can read until you're ready for a book like this. But if you like stories about skeletons and zombies and human heads, then crawl under the cover and turn the page. And if you get too scared, then you can always sleep in your parents' bed. But please don't tell them the reason you got spooked, because I really don't want them to be mad at me. I warn you. This is the page. I hope you know it's just so. Okay. They're changing. There once was a boy named Rowan, and Rowan was a happy child. He had two parents who loved him very much, and he had lots of toys to play with. Sometimes Rowan would bring the toys to school and play with them at recess, but he stopped doing that after he got bullied by some jerks. Grow up, baby. Kick. Here is the page. That made Rowan sad because he thought playing with toys was the best days about being a kid. But Rowan's classmates didn't feel the same way, and they were always trying to act older than they really were. One day, when Rowan was in class, he felt a strange tickle centered under his arm. He didn't know what it was. So he asked the teacher, Mr. Penalty, if he could please be excused to use the restroom. When Rowan got to the restroom, he took off his shirt and was shocked to see a single hair growing from the center of his armpit. Rowan didn't know what to do, so he put his shirt back on and returned to class. And when he sat down, he felt like everyone in the class could tell something was different about him, even Miss Penalty. When he found, when the final bell rang, Rowan when the final bell rang, Rowan ran all the way home. He knew his mom kept some tweezers in the bathroom, and he couldn't wait to use them to pull out the hair. But when Rowan took his shirt off, he could see it was too late for the tweezers. Suddenly, their hair started sprawling all over Rowan's body, and before long, he was practically covered in it. Boing, boing, spoing. By now, Rowan was totally panicking. He went down his parents' bathroom cabinet to see if there was anything that might help, and he found something he thought would do the trick. Hair remover. But there's a reason kids shouldn't go poking around in their parents' bathroom cabinet, because 2 seconds after Rowan opened the bottle, he passed out from the fumes. Faint. Oh, I didn't show you the picture, right? Oh, here. When Rowan woke up, he was in his bed. At first, he thought maybe the whole thing with the hair was just a bad dream. But one look at his arm told him it wasn't. Ground. Rowan's parents walked into his room, and he was afraid they were gonna be mad at him to opening the bottle of the hair remover without asking. But they didn't look angry. After all, in fact, they seemed kinda happy. Rowan parents said they've been waiting for this day all of 4 years. And it was time for them to have a talk. Rowan thought they had already had the talk when his parents told him how babies were made. But they said this one was a total different talk. His parents said that sometimes when the child turns a certain age, their bodies start to go thought of changing, and that was Rowan sad because he liked himself just the way he was. By now, Rowan thought he knew where they were heading, so he asked the question, what that had been all his mind all day. Am I becoming a man? embarrassed because he took them a long time to stop laughing. Ha 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 ha. After Roland found out wiped a tear from his eye. He said Roland was still a boy, but he was a different kind of boy. And when Roland asked what he meant by that, his dad gave him some bad news. You're a werewolf, son. This was the beef in this was definitely not what Roland wanted to hear. But when Roland saw the word worries look on her son's face, she said, this way a day to celebrate. Roland's parents told him he came from a long line of werewolves, and suddenly the picture on the staircase was well, made a lot more sense to Roland. Now Roland's parents gave him some more bad news. They said they were both werewolves too. Roland started remembering clues growing up that should have told him his parents were werewolves. But he guessed deep down he didn't want to admit the truth. Shame. The Roland started crying. He said he just wanted to be a regular kid and have a normal life. But his parents said a werewolf could live a perfect normal life as long as they kept on top of their roaming and hide who they really were from the rest of the world. Roland didn't want to hide who he was. He had always been thought to be yourself, and that's what he planned to do. But Roland's parents told him there were ignorant people in the world who weren't like anyone who liked before. Okay, did you like that? Okay, now I'm going to read it. And if you didn't saw the picture, we're in the 14 page. And let's read. And Roland knew exactly the type of people his parents were talking about. When Roland asked his parents a question he wasn't sure he was really ready to hear that answer to. But the world of people, Roland said. Roland's parents looked a little uncomfortable and said that was a subject for another talk later on. For Roland had a feeling he knew that answer to his question, so the next day he brought his toys with him to recess. And this time nobody dared to mess with him. Roland's plea inspired his parents to stop hiding who they were. And from the day on, Roland and his family lived all their true self, and everyone else just had to deal with it. Aroo! The pastor. In a little seaside village somewhere in Europe, there lived a man named Jamster, and everyone knew who Jamster was because he was the village prankster. Wait, prankster Jamster rhymes. Most of Jamster's pranks were pretty harmless. Sometimes he covered the baker's car in gift wrap, and another time he filled the village's online phone box with popcorn. He snarled. I read this chapter, and I read only this chapter, and I'm gonna finish, okay? Sometimes Jasper would even play tricks on his own family members, and his mom never really forgave him for gluing all her furniture to the ceiling. But Jamster's most famous prank was the time he put a Marilla's underwear up on a flat pole, which everyone thought was pretty hilarious. Well, everyone except for the mirror. Ho ho hee hee. Jamster! Snarf. And that was the thing about Jamster pranks. Most people thought they were pretty hilarious, unless they were the ones being pranked. Sploosh. Anyway, one morning Jamster woke up trying to figure out who he was gonna prank next. He could decide if the one to toilet paper his next door neighbor's house, or replace the baker's cream-filled donuts full of toothpaste. The toilet paper felt like a lot of work, and it had been a while since Jasper pranked Doris, the baker. So Jasper decided he'd go with the donut thing for today. Jasper got out of his bed and brushed his hair and hid it out and headed to the bakery and on the way there he passed a few people he knew. He waved to Marian, the dressmaker, and Mickey, the chess maker. But neither one waved back. But he figured they were just sore at his first covering their shop with window in mustard and a week before. They got stranger when Jason walked into the bakery. His friend Dieter and Schumann was walking out. And when Jason said hello, Dieter ignored him. And a few seconds later, when Myrtle, the librarian, walked in to buy his daily baggers, she walked past Jason like she didn't even see him. Matter went to the counter to buy a bread. Jason was deciding and that when Jasper made his move, he pulled the tube of toothpaste out of his pocket and grabbed the glass lid off the donut platter. Or at least he tried to, because when Jasper reached for the lid, his hand went right through it. Jasper was so confused, and he ran outside and onto the street. But what happened next? Upset he even more, because when he stood in front of the mirror shop, he didn't have a reflection. Okay, that's my favorite cliffhanger. So I think we're going to read the next week. Bye. Be continued in next week. Bye. See you next week.